as busy.
Just as busy, and it's gonna start early because I gotta be up and ready to go. So,
Uh-huh.
just not as early as you.
Huh.
Not
Yeah.
definitely as early as you.
That means I have to get to work at 6, which means I wake up at 5.
Uh, it's not that you
Going
aren't
to,
used to that though.
well, that's true, but I've been used to not having to get up that early, and I
Yeah.
kind of like it.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm like, I do not enjoy getting up early ever. So,
Mm.
and so I would just be like, yeah, nah.
Yeah, about
Yeah,
that.
duh. Hey, Bim. How's it going? Sorry, we're a tad behind our normal schedule. Let me do the tweet thing.
Yeah.
We had a busy evening before this. We are live. Twitch.tv slash Tauren think tank. Ooh. That is, we got it.
Yay. We are
It's
there.
Antiboos. Hi. We are here. We are doing the thing with the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tis a busy night. I
Busy.
so I had told my dad before, it's like last week, I said, just a heads up, we're moving the show to Wednesday night. And he has a reminder on his phone that, on Thursdays that it's show night. And
Yeah.
so so I told him, and he wound up changing the reminder on his phone for today, and he's like, Rain Man has skills, honey. That's the text that I got earlier. Cracks me up. Rain Man
Mhm.
does have skills, Dad.
Definitely.
All
Definitely.
right.
Definitely.
Let's do this. We'll do this, and we'll do this. Um, hmm. Let's see. We'll do this one. Oh, it's already sticky.
An oldie but
I
a goodie.
I haven't pulled that one for a while.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that we're switching it up is because of tomorrow's big release of the CTR Party Kickstarter. We are releasing it in the morning, and then we're gonna have a stream at night, and we're gonna promote everything. We're gonna talk about what's going on, and the new stuff that we're releasing this time. Do a maybe an hour-long stream. Unfortunately, poor Pat seems to have come down with a cold, something. He's
Yeah.
not feeling well. So I'm hoping that he will be able to do it tomorrow. If not, then I will do it. So, but I am so excited. I'm so excited to bring this out
I
because I'm
can't
like
wait too.
so
I know
excited.
I know some of it, but I don't know all of it. So I'm ready to find out myself.
All I have to say
Oh
is
boy.
wait till you see the video. It's so
Oh no.
good.
Oh
And
no.
it's done by Pat Crane.
Oh man.
It's so good, you guys. Like I was geeking out. So he was working on it last weekend while I was streaming craft stuff with Nevermore. And he was
Mhm.
sending me previews of the audio that he was doing it. I'm like, dude, I'm on stream right now. He's like, I don't care. You can play it. So
Uh-oh.
I was like, okay. So I played like the intro of it, and let's just say that the inspiration for the beginning of the video was picture yourself at a rock concert
Oh man.
and picture yourself listening to the original CTR rock and roll theme.
Okay.
Okay. And that is how it starts. It's so good. I had that brainstorm on Saturday morning because we were trying to figure out how to start it, and I couldn't figure it out. And I had this brainstorm at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday, and I texted Pat like 9, and I'm like, okay, I got it. I think I got it. And then he is like, yeah, I like that idea. Let's do it. So and then we
Sweet.
did. So he did. He is amazing. But so That is why we are doing the show on Wednesday instead of Thursday, because we have work to do.
We got works to do.
We got work to do. So it's time. It's
Gonna
time.
be a good time.
It's time to go to work.
Like you haven't been working for months already on this thing.
2 months. Yeah, that's the thing. Like we've been working on this for 2 months, just this part of it, and so it's like the releasing the baby. Like the baby gets born tomorrow, and then it's like and then we gotta wait, and then the baby's gotta make sure that the baby like gets up on its legs and can start walking. And then if the baby gets up on its legs, then we've got to take it to school. And we got to make sure that it's got everything
Make
it
sure
needs.
it gets there on time.
Make sure it gets there
Make sure
on
it's
time.
got its lunch. It's got its homework.
That's
that
right.
project that they didn't tell you about.
Exactly.
Till last night that's due tomorrow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then, all that other stuff, the last minute assignments. And so, yeah, it's just, it begins. Hey, Grand Nagus, welcome.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us on this lovely night to stream, to do a show. I'm going to ready check the chat room.
And I'm going to try not to yawn too much.
You're going to try not to. Hey, Sage Time. It's good to see you as well. And we are ready to do a show if you guys are. Oh. My timer. I'm so tired.
I think we both are.
Das Fumes. I am running on them.
Yes.
I am running on Das Fumes. But we will do this. We will do this. And we've got a listener letter this week. So, yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Are you ready, sir?
We do. Yes.
Cool. Cool. Then we shall do this.
Yes.
We shall make this happen. We will begin recording episode 232 in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 232 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Wednesday, May 24th of 2017. A Wednesday, you say? What is this? We're doing it on a different day because we have really busy schedules this week. But that's okay. We'll tell you all about it in a minute. My name is Jules, and I am here, as always, with my my lovely co-host who has been working very hard and solving the world's problems when it comes to technology. It is Marconin.
I do what I can.
And you do what you must.
I do my best. It does not always work, but I try. And that is what matters.
Hi on a Wednesday night.
Hello, hello.
Hello. We would normally have this time kind of carved out for raiding. We haven't been raiding the last couple of weeks. We're waiting for the new content to come out, so it kind of worked out. But so we are here on a Wednesday because of crazy week schedule, and especially for me. So and so we are happy to see some familiar faces in the chat room that don't always make it here on Thursdays. And so it's awesome to see them. But hey, like, what is going on? And well, I've already wished you a happy birthday like last week, but happy birthday again. How was your birthday?
Oh, thank you very much. It went pretty well. I had to work just a regular full day.
Yep.
But afterwards, my wife and I went to the Greek food festival that happens about this time every year. Up in Little Rock. And oh man, such good food. It's at the Greek Orthodox Church there.
Yeah.
And they do it kind of as like a cultural thing. Come learn about this stuff. But it's grown into this really cool thing where, of course, they have all the Greek food that you could ever want. You know, hummus, baklava, of course. Oh, the baklava is good.
That's so good.
Spanakopita, all this stuff. It's wonderful. And I love going there. I've been going for the past 5 or 6 years. They've been doing it for over 30 years. So a lot of tradition and stuff has come from it. And it was really cool that they did. They also do, in addition to like traditional Greek dances and showing off the culture and the heritage, but they'll also invite other schools. Like there's the Irish dancing classes that have come. And then there's all these different areas around the city, all these, cultural touchstones will come and they'll show off their stuff. And it was really cool to see all the things that went on with it. The food was good. Man, it is so good. And oh man, I was so full on everything. And one thing that I thought that was really cool, I had to look this up to make sure, but we were at the Greek Food Festival watching an Irish dance that was set to that was composed by a Jewish composer, Aaron Copland, and the song was Rodeo, I think, which was about the American West. So a Greek food festival with an Irish class of dancers dancing to an American tune written by a Jewish composer. That's great. I thought that was the coolest thing. I just kind of sat there. I was like, of course, I love Aaron Copland's music.
Yeah.
Anyway, because it's just essential when you think about the Wild West. That's it's distilled into its essence there, and all of that stuff. It's just like, this is awesome. Yeah. I just love it.
Yeah.
And I was just full on all the food. Brought some home. Of course, they'll sell you all the pastries and stuff too, and it was great.
Yeah.
So I did that for my birthday. The big gift that I got was that my wife got us tickets to go see our favorite YouTubers, Rhett and Link of Good Mythical Morning fame. They're going on a tour of mythicality across the country in the fall. And so 2 weekends before BlizzCon, I'm going to Dallas.
Oh my goodness.
I can see that.
Are you driving to Dallas?
Oh, it's only like 4.5, 5 hours. It's not far at all. Yeah, it's not bad. But one of the best things is that she was able to secure VIP tickets. So front row, we're going to be there and we get to like go and meet them before the show.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Get our picture taken. And as much as I love their show, my wife adores them.
Yeah.
She watches it without fail every day, and she'll come and, did you see it? Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Well, I hear it's great. Watch it, and of course it's awesome. But it's gonna be so cool. And she was prepping for the ticket buying process, and so I gave her a crash course in how to get BlizzCon tickets, essentially, because it was a pre-sale and she got the early bird thing. So I was like, you've got to be right there, you've got to have your credit card ready to go, you got to be hitting F5 to refresh your page, you got to do it. And then because I was at work when they went on sale, and she sent me a picture, she was like, we're going. And so I just yelled and exclaimed, and it was great.
That's so cool.
I have yeah, and so I've got 5 months to prepare, but I think it'll be awesome. Get to see them 2 weeks before I get to see you. Well, of course, I get to see you next month as well.
Next month. And it's going to be amazing. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that now Nerdtacular is the end of next month. It's almost a month away now.
Yeah, it is just over a month. I can't wait either. I was thinking about it at work today too. Just like, okay, well, this year I am bringing like chapstick before I get there, and those little canisters of oxygen I may need to get, just because us lowland folks are not used to 8,000 feet.
Yeah,
I know I'm not.
Yeah, you need some serious chapstick when you go up to the mountain.
Oh yeah,
it's just so weird. And lots and lots and lots of water, so an extra water bottle never hurts.
Never hurt.
Yep.
Nuh-uh.
Oh,
but yeah, I think. So oh, I know. I can't wait. It's been a pretty good week. Solid bit of work when I'm working. Still loving it. Still enjoying it. So it's been really great. Interacting with all of our customers and the people on the team. So, I mean, I was hesitant at first because of how different it was, and I had a couple concerns, but I mean, it's really kind of fallen by the wayside. I get business cards. They're ordered. I got. It's kind of weird having more responsibility and not just being the grunt at work.
Yeah.
Here, move this, push that. Now it's here, move this, push that. But here's some more responsibility, and here's cool toys. You get to, I have my own vehicle now, and it's weird, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. But yeah, that's been my week in a nutshell. What about you, Jules? I know you're busy because of tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
It has been a week, and I'm already exhausted. Tomorrow is launch day for the Kickstarter. It's 2 months of work that we've put in to get this to this point. But I'm super proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I'm really happy with what we're going to unveil tomorrow. I really hope everybody enjoys it as much as we do. One of the beautiful things about doing, being able to do this full time and all of the other stuff that I'm working on too, is that we can be ahead of the game. So we had all of the art designed ahead of time instead of after the Kickstarter had ended. So people can see what we've got in mind, you know, and like what it is, what it's going to be. And it is, I'm just stoked. I'm so excited. We've got a couple surprises in there, and it's so cool. So yeah, there's that. And then last weekend, I streamed for 11 hours between 2 days. I know. I streamed with Nevermore. We did more crafting stuff, and I am having the time of my life making jewelry, and I am even more thrilled that people are buying them.
Yeah.
It is so exciting. I made this beautiful beaded lanyard, like a captured beaded lanyard on these gorgeous black and bright jade green beads that were just gorgeous. And I made it. I had a commissioned lanyard that I had to finish, and I finished that one, and it came out gorgeous. And then I said, well, I'm going to do something with these beads that I found at Michael's craft store. And I just decided to make a lanyard. I didn't have a home for it. I didn't have anything to do with it. And someone bought it. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I am so excited to make more stuff. It is such a blast. And when we stream, we have people that just hang out with us all day while we're doing stuff. And they're out farming in WoW or watching, playing other games or watching TV. And it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. So I am like so excited to do more of that this weekend. After all of this craziness with the Kickstarter, everything launches, and I'm going to be like, hallelujah, it's holiday weekend.
I'm done.
Yeah.
See you in a few days.
Yeah. It's been a lot. I mean, it's a labor of love. I love doing this work. I love it. It's a lot of stress, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people involved, a lot of things that you have to make sure are ready. We have more artists and craftspeople this year than we've ever had in the past, which is all moving parts, getting commitments and making sure, getting their artwork and getting, all of that. So I am so excited. So, but we have a letter tonight from a listener, and I think that it's a very timely letter. And we'll get into that in just a few. Anything else that you want to talk about before we fly into our letter?
I don't know if you can hear that sound, but it's my wallet. It's crying for all the cool things that are going to be in that Kickstarter. I tell you,
Marconin has seen some of it, and
I've seen some of it, and my wallet is crying.
He's my litmus test. If I show him something and he goes, then I know that it's good.
Yeah, just not even a word, just like a syllable, just like a syllable, and just me drooling like I need this. I want this now, please.
Yeah, and I just want to give a tremendous shout out to my entire committee who has been working tirelessly on this with me. I could not have done this without them. And they are, it's Pat Crane and Turarts, Carolina Briner, Sal, Cuddles. We have Battle Panda, Evil Lonnie, Afro Horacy. These guys are working so hard with me.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, and I hope I didn't forget anybody's names. There's been so many things going on. And these guys, we're all going to be on stream tomorrow night. Hopefully those that can make it. Battle Panda obviously cannot because he is in Australia at work, but it is going to be a fun, like, let off some steam because we've had so much fun doing it. And it will be on twitch.tv/convert to raid, on the convert to raid Twitch. If you follow the CTR Party one, that's twitch.tv/CTR Party. And that is also going to have it. So they'll be cross-streamed. Anyway.
We can't wait.
I know. I'm not going to sleep tonight. You know this.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, so let's do the show. Let's get into this letter. And we got Think Tank. Here it comes.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time. We have a letter from a listener. Thank you. We have one to read. It's been a while since I've had a letter to read, so this is awesome.
Yeah.
It says, hello, Triple T. I just listened to episode 231. This was the episode about fear. I have been married for 7 years now. We own a home and have 2 kids under 3 years old, 3 dogs, and a bit of credit card debt. My wife and I are not getting along and fight more than we should. We just seem to not like each other's company anymore. Things seem to be getting worse the longer we try to keep going through the motions that everything is okay. I have a fear that we go down the road of splitting up, that I'm a failure as a father to my kids. I feel that if the kids were not in the picture, we wouldn't keep the marriage going. But ever since having kids, our relationship has changed dramatically. It seems we are not happy. But how can it be any better not being a family unit so our kids grow up in the way I feel is best for them, with a loving mother and father? I'm going to start seeing a counselor for my personal issues of being a loving husband and father, but the fear of changing my life and my family's life by getting a divorce makes me think that I'm stupid. My life isn't at all as bad as I feel it is, and I should just be happy with all that I do have. Anyways, this is the first time I have wrote into a podcast. I'm not sure if this even makes sense, but I fear for the healthy life of my children. Just wanted to share and get this off my chest. Thanks for listening. Keep on helping and inspiring people with every episode, from Solified. So,
there's a lot here, and there's a lot that I can say.
There's a lot that I can say, too.
Because, my parents are divorced. They've been divorced since 96, 97, somewhere in there.
How old were you when they got divorced?
4th grade, 5th grade, so 9 to 10.
8, 9, 10.
In there.
Okay. So I'm curious, and I probably already know the answer to this, but even as a young child, I mean, you were older than this writer's children, but I am betting you probably sensed that your mom and dad were not happy.
They did a good job of keeping it hidden. It was mostly my dad's decision to leave.
Okay.
That's it. In the balance, it was, dad left. Mom didn't want him to. So I knew that day because I walked out of my room into the living room and they were talking and I don't remember the particulars because it had upset me. And then I just left the house. It made me very uncomfortable. I was afraid. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. I could feel something was in the air. And so I left, and my dad eventually found me because we had some train tracks. Yeah. So I was just walking up and down. Of course, I was safe. I grew up climbing those darn things when they weren't moving. But they found me, and Dad explained the situation to me, and there we go.
So as a child of divorced parents, do you feel that it would have been better for them that in the long run it was better for them to split, or just you would have wanted, like, I know there's a lot of kids out there who said if only my parents would just have stayed together when they're little.
Well, hindsight's 20/20, and it's been over 20 years now since that's happened, and they've been both been through a tremendous amount of change in their lives. Both of them remarried, both of them re-divorced. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and bad things happened to my dad, bad things happened to my mom. Mm-hmm. It's who's to say those bad things would or wouldn't have happened? We don't know, but from what my parents have told me, because I'm 34 now, I'm I'm probably a little bit younger. Yeah, I'm a little bit younger than my parents were when they got a divorce.
Okay.
So I can I'm at the point in my life where I can kind of understand the situation. So they've told me little bits and pieces here or there. It was mostly a difference of what they wanted, I guess.
Out of
I haven't
life.
really talked to them. Yeah. But, when I think about it, I think it's something that, had they been willing to work it out and work together, had my dad been willing to, had my mom been willing to listen, my dad been willing to talk, and vice versa, who's to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
I in just from me remembering, I don't know that they tried that hard to stay together. It was mostly just like, I'm leaving. I'm not asking, I'm telling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those things. So that's kind of how it seemed to me. He had already made up his mind, and it was a surprise not only to me and my sister, but also my mom too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's it's who's to say? I mean, they were both I know they were both happier in some ways here and there. And one thing though is that they remained civil and friends. Like my parents are friends still. They don't hate each other. It's not one of those situations.
Right.
So the one thing in the letter that stuck out to me is that he said, where was it? But how can it be better not being a family unit so our kids can grow up in the way I feel is best, with a loving mother and father? Now, I'll tell you that I never felt after my parents were divorced that I did not have a loving mother and father. That's one thing that they maintained, and they worked their hardest is to make sure that my sister and I were cared for and loved, and they didn't fight over weekends. That I got to see my dad every other weekend. And I stayed with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Went with her the other weekends. There was a nice balance. They were civil, and they knew the priority was the kids.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying go for the divorce yet, because we'll get to that, but I'm saying that your kids will still have a loving mother and father if you want them to.
Yeah.
If you both agree, eventually, if that comes to that point, then you can make sure to put the kids first.
Yeah.
And that's something that you guys have complete control over. So don't think that just because you're not in the nuclear family unit does not mean that you are not loved.
Right.
Or your kids are not loved.
It's not a doom sentence to say that a divorce will automatically make your chances of your kids having a loving mother and father. I mean, it doesn't doom them for that. You can do that. And so I see a lot of things in this. If you're new to the show, if you haven't been listening for years or, months, recent, I am divorced. I've been divorced twice. My first divorce was and I have no children within any of my previous marriages, but my first divorce was my choice. The second divorce is a situation that I can't talk about very specifically, but it was not a good situation. And so the thing about when you are in a situation of lack of communication, because that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I've used this analogy in the past. I'm going to use it again. But think about every single time that your partner does or says something that irritates you, annoys you, upsets you, hurts you. And think about that as a ball of paper. Physically put it into a form of a ball of paper. Hurt, anger, frustration, irritation, sadness, all of it. Every single time it's like a ball of paper. Now, we as human beings, if we don't communicate, what happens is we just take that ball of paper and we throw it into the corner. Because it's not worth talking about it. It's, maybe you feel like it's not the time, or I've not said anything before about the paper, so I'm just going to throw it in the corner. And think about every single time that happens to you in your relationship. How big is that pile of paper in your corner. Because if it happens every single time and you throw it in the corner, it just piles up until you cannot see the bottom anymore. Can't see the floor. It's taken over the house or the room that's in, and you now have a much bigger problem on your hands. And that is lack of communication. And I understand this more than you know, Solified. I understand this because sometimes in a relationship, when you've gotten together with someone and you've made decisions and you've made plans for the future, we're going to get married, we're going to have children, we're going to have a house, we're going to have this future. And then suddenly things changed, or things weren't exactly what you thought they were going to be, but you never said anything about it because I don't want to hurt her feelings. Or I don't want to make him upset, or I don't know how to express how I'm feeling because I'm scared. And and children, having kids like changes everything.
Oh yeah. It's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
Not completely.
Yeah. And so a lot of therapists will, they'll start you back if you go to therapy, and they're going to ask you, what got you guys together in the first place? What were the reasons that brought you together? And everybody's story is different. But, and there's the initial, puppy dog love and the infatuation and the, can't get enough of the other person. You can't imagine your life without them. And then you get past that. And then there's the relationship part of it. So when, every relationship starts somewhere and it ends, or it gets to the point where it is now. I mean, it hasn't ended yet, but it sounds like it's at its end because where you started is not where you are. Yeah.
And a lot of things can change that, that I'll in August, I'll have been married for 7 years too. So I have, instead of 2 kids and 3 dogs, I've got 3 cats and a dog. So no kids, but
yeah,
and you guys will change over those years. Of course, you'll keep doing that, but in those years, all these situations may change. And like she said, with all the little things, they'll start piling up. Well, in a similar fashion, sometimes when you're in the relationship and it's kind of static, you've kind of, after the past first couple of years, you've got the kids, you got the dogs, you're kind of settled into the motions. And that also leads to silence because you are in the routine. And if something gets out of the routine, like you're having a fight or someone concerns you, you throw that away and you stick to the routine.
Yeah.
And that's why you're going through the motions, it seems like. And I agree that having a conversation with her about this is going to be crucial either way you guys go.
Yes.
Because I'm not convinced it's a lost cause yet, because people get like this all the time. Marriage is freaking hard work.
Yes, it's very
It's
hard.
not, and I know you guys know that because you have kids, you have this whole life together. It's hard. But things that are worth having, the most precious things in the world, require work.
Yeah.
If you want that fancy car, you've got to work. If you want to have an awesome job where you're doing this, you've got to work. And for things like this, you have to work. And the problem is you've got 2 people that need to work, but they also have to work together.
Yep.
And you got to kind of, if you can, break down all the other barriers, not break down, but separate you and your wife from everything else in the world. Zone in on just the 2 of you and talk.
Yeah.
Don't think about the dogs, or take the kids to the grandparents, put the dogs outside in the yard for a while, go do something and put all that away and just say, hey, I'm not convinced we're giving up. I don't think it's a lost cause yet. Let's just see, it's almost like a checkup, if you go too long without going to the doctor, something's going to happen, and then something's going to happen, and then something else is going to build on it, and then all of a sudden that little bitty stub toe turned into gangrene and your leg's falling off. Well, you should have gone to the doctor at the first sign of trouble.
Yes.
And, I'm not blaming you for not going to the doctor just yet, but your leg's not falling off yet. You guys aren't divorced. So now would be the time to just say, hey, honey, I just want to check up on you. Let's just, let's talk some stuff out. What are your concerns with us? Like, how do you feel about us? I'm not here to say we're going one way. I just want to talk and I just want to listen. And if you will listen, and I just want us to compare notes. Is there anything, because, sometimes when you get in the routine, and I know I'm guilty of this, you forget some of the little things, it could be something, and this is kind of like the love languages thing, like, oh, well, you don't hold my hand when we watch TV anymore. And I'm wondering what's up, or, you don't tell me you love me before you go to work anymore. You used to do that all the time. Is something wrong with me? It could be something as small as that's contributing to it. It could be the little things that, I'm not saying there's not a big problem here, because there might be, but, I'm ever the optimist and the hopeful one. So, I'm hoping that it's something, I would rather, given the choice, I would rather see a troubled marriage work out. If it's fixable. Now, if it's something like abuse, absolutely not. But if you guys are just going through trouble, it's, I don't want to throw it. I don't want people to throw it away.
No. And I
the
don't
smallest
advocate
little
for
thing.
that either. The thing about it, though, is that we, as a general whole of people, are very afraid of truth.
Yeah.
And it is very difficult. And Bim just said this in the chat room, which she took the words right from me.
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just simply communicating. It's about being vulnerable with each other, she said, to admit our own errors and to forgive the other. Because
absolutely,
the thing that I think we forget a lot of times in a marriage, in a relationship, is that it's not me versus you. It's us versus the problem.
Yeah.
And when you are now on two separate sides of the problem, then it's a war.
Yeah, and you can't see each other because the problem's in between you.
Correct. And so when you're talking about in the letter that you fight more than you should, I will guarantee you from my own experience, whatever you're fighting about isn't the real problem. It's surface stuff. It's symptoms of the problem, but it is not the actual problem. So how do you get to the actual problems? How do you get down to the honest, raw, truthful communication? And that in itself is inherent trust in the other. I know that when things get too far out of control, where the communication is completely broken down, there can be it's very, very likely that one or both of you don't trust the other person. You're afraid that they're going to hurt you. You're afraid that they're not going to believe you. You're afraid that they aren't going to respect you and what you're saying because it's all about them and not you. You're afraid that you're not going to be heard, honestly. And you have to it's like you literally have to take away all of the the reactive tendencies that we have and be able to just sit down and say, this is how I feel. And I need you to hear it with zero judgment and zero defensiveness. And it's that is freaking hard.
Yes, it is.
And so you brought up a really good point, and it's about the routine. Like, if you go throughout your routine, it's very, very hard. Like, it is so hard to just sit down on the sofa, say, if you normally sit there and watch television together, to have a conversation that's about honest and raw truth on the sofa, because that's where you watch television. My suggestion is that you take yourselves out of your routine.
Yeah.
And you go someplace, maybe get a babysitter for the weekend. Get someone to watch the kids, to take the kids, like your parents, her parents, someone who you trust. And you and your wife, you go someplace out of your routine. Take a weekend trip somewhere, drive someplace else. Take a hike in the woods for the day, but go out of your normal comfort zone, get out of your normal routine and your normal settings, because you will retreat to your comfort zone before you would actually have it gives you the ability to let go a lot easier, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when your surroundings are different, it helps reinforce that inside your own head that you're somewhere different. Yeah. And I know in the letter you said that ever since having kids, your relationship has changed dramatically. Yeah, no kidding. It'll do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the thing you have to remember is you're not different people than you were before. You now have an added role to who you were before. That's the way I like to think.
I'm going to disagree with you on that for just a minute, because I have an example of this.
Okay.
Before you are parents, you are husband and wife, you're a couple, you're a friend, you're a brother or a sister, a son, a daughter, And when you become a parent, you are responsible for someone else. And I will tell you for absolute certainty that it does change mindsets, because you're now afraid of more stuff than you ever thought you were ever afraid of.
Well, yeah.
You are now considering life in a completely different perspective. And also, I mean, I'm grasping here, but I think this is just my instinct talking, is that most of the time when parents become parents, the sexual relationship changes too.
Probably.
And that is also a very large portion of, if you guys were kind of, wild and crazy beforehand, and now you're too exhausted to get it on because the kids have worn you out, or you're afraid someone's going to walk in on you at any given point because they jump into your bed every night, your sex life is dried up too. And so that's why I disagree with you just a little bit.
Well, yeah, and I understand that. What I was just meaning is that you're still you underneath there. You've got the added responsibility, and you've got this change in mindset, but you don't stop being who you were before. That's kind of what I meant, is like you're still the person she fell in love with. She's still the person you fell in love with. You guys that the point, in the marriage, you're agreeing to be with each other, and to, as you change, you are going and growing together.
Yeah. And
sometimes that falls apart, you start to lose the both of you in the family part. You're concentrating on the kids, on work, on the animals, and not paying as much attention to who the two of you are. I mean, and that's where the split is between the two of you. You both love your kids. It's just between the two of you guys.
Yeah.
Where we got the problem. So, all I was saying is like, just like you were saying, kind of get away, and just, I mean, like she said earlier, why did you get together in the first place? Mm-hmm. Try to remember, because, I've had problems, and I go back and I try and take a moment and remember, what happened when I first met my wife.
Right.
What I remember exactly where I was, and I remember the first time our eyes met.
Yep.
I remember that clear as day.
Yep.
And I start to go back and think about all those things, and when we have troubles, we go and remind ourselves of that. Mm-hmm. Try to remember that, yes, we are different people than we were when we met. Oh, how many years ago now? 13 years ago?
Right.
We're completely different people, but we're still in there,
Yeah.
And even though, if you can hold on to that, and you continue to grow with each other, not away or against each other, grow with each other.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's a big journey, especially with the kids, and you guys have this common goal. You're on the same team. Like you said before, with it's us versus the problem, not,
yes.
And not on opposing sides with the problem in between. And if you try to talk to each other, get a game plan. That's what people on a team do if they want to win the game. They get a game plan. So this is where you go get in a huddle before the play. You put your heads together and you talk. You say, here's the state of things in our relationship. I know I am failing in these ways. Because, you can't just sit there and be accusatory and say, I don't like this. I don't like this about you. Make it a little bit of both. Start with yourself. Like, hey, I know, we're kind of not doing so well. And I think I could do better in some of these ways. Do you feel that I'm not, try and get something from her first and say, what do you think for us,
Yeah.
and just try and,
you have to
I know it's kind
accept
of all
some
over the place,
responsibility. Yeah. Like he has to take some, what you're saying is he has to have humility to say, I know that I am somebody who is not perfect either. And, you disarm the situation by saying, I'm not coming here to fight. I'm coming here to try to help us come together and solve the problem. But I think it's worth acknowledging that when you meet someone, when you meet your spouse, the days beforehand, before you get married, most likely you've wanted different things in the past. You had different goals and different life paths, and things have changed you over time. I know I'm not the same person that I was when I first got married. It's still me, but what I wanted and what I desired to have in life was so different than what I am today, because I discovered a whole lot of things about myself about the podcasting and the community building and the things that I loved that I had never known before I had met my ex. And so the things that they say, like, people grow apart, is absolutely true. But it is very possible to come back together and rediscover each other if you can get back to understanding the reasons that brought you together in the first place. And it can be anything along the way that just kind of derailed you guys. It really, it could have been anything, but usually after the children are born, you stop dating.
Yeah.
You stop being a couple. You stop being people that focus on each other, because now everything is focused on the kids. And, that's what they say. You're supposed to make sure that you date your wife, you date your husband when you become parents, because that relationship is the quickest to just be thrown out. It's the quickest to go, because the kids they need you. And they're going to need everything that you have. So I just look at it and say, your position as a parent tends to trump anything that has to do with your own relationship. So,
and in a sense it should, but it shouldn't completely overtake it. Like you said, the people say to date your wife and date your husband, try and kind of rediscover that stuff about each other, because, I don't think it's a lost cause at all. With this, divorce is a huge thing. It is a gut-wrenching, awful, your kids are young enough to where it won't affect them like it did my sister and I. I felt awful about it, even though my parents loved me very much, and they did, it does affect you,
The things that I think are most important, and, you are considering solidified, you are considering going to therapy, which I think is wonderful. But you should also consider couples therapy.
Yes.
As part of this.
From experience, yes.
Because you need to know if this is worth saving. In my situation, I went to therapy when things fell apart, and I was not joined by my ex. I went by myself because he didn't want to. He didn't think he needed to. And that in itself says a lot, doesn't it? So, the bringing up the conversation of saying, if you don't feel comfortable having the honest talks on your own, get a professional involved and get into a situation where you can be helped by someone who knows how to bring that communication around, how to start it. And they will teach you so much about how to communicate. It is like crazy.
Yeah.
So that if you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, and why should you if you don't really have the comfort level now? You need to be taught. You need to be learning from a professional. And so the first hard conversation, I think, could be, I do think we need to start seeing a therapist together about our relationship.
Yeah, and it's not an admission of failure. It's more of a suggestion for reinforcement, because it's maintenance. A very, very large, complex machine is not going to run forever without regular maintenance.
Yeah.
And boy, marriage is a machine, especially when you have kids, because you're growing human beings there.
Yeah.
You're sculpting them for society. And so you're a very hardworking machine, but you're a machine that works together. And you need some maintenance, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how your wife feels about therapy, but she responds positively to it. There's no, I'm taking you because I think you're the problem in the relationship. No, it's you're both going because you're both flawed human beings, and there's an issue.
Yep.
You don't know where the root is. You don't know, but you want to come together and try and fix it. So absolutely try couples therapy if you can. Definitely speak to your wife about it. You don't even have to get in particulars about what the problems are in your relationship at that point. Like when you're first suggesting it, just go just to see, and then the therapist will ask tons of questions.
Yeah.
And try and just get a feel for the terrain of your relationship.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy. And it's not, but I feel like from your letter, it's already in your mind that you've kind of put in there that it's done, that it's over and it's not possible to save it. But changing your routine in your lives and uprooting everything is something that's the part you're afraid of. And so I got to ask Solified if that is where you're at, to say, yeah, I think we're done. We're never going to be able to get past this point. And I do think that is the question that you do need to ask, either you going to individual therapy first and having that conversation with your therapist, because your letter is saying, I'm going to therapy to try to resolve my issues of being a loving husband and father. And so that is not something you do alone if you're planning to stay in this relationship. This is a partnership. It's a dual effort. To be a loving husband, you have to have a wife who wants to be in the middle of things with it. She wants to be involved. So I just feel like you gotta go with it. You gotta just, you have to hit that first moment of saying, we need help and we need to get help.
Because in the letter, the main problem I see is that you're just not happy.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very broad term. What is it that makes you not happy? Is it the way that she, is it the way that she looks at you, or the way she talks to you sometimes, or is the way she gives you the cold shoulder? There's a lot of things. Or is it you're not you're not happy at your point with what you have, because in a lot of ways, to some people, you are very blessed because you have children, you have that family unit, and not a lot of people have. So and of course you're blessed because you're alive. And at this time in history where you can tell your problems to people on the internet. So, you have got it good on the whole, but in the specifics, you may not be happy. To me, that doesn't seem like a done deal. Like, if we gave up on things every time we weren't happy, we wouldn't have anything. Now, but like I said, things like this are worth fighting for. And if you believe that you can salvage it, by all means, man, try to salvage it.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot, you've already invested a lot. They're your kids, man. There's your kids. That's your wife. That's your animals. That's all part. That's not, you're not a part of that. That all is you, and it'll be, if you decide to leave, it is gut wrenching because, believe me, it was gut wrenching for my mom. when my dad left, you know, for years, you know, and I had to sit there and endure that. I don't blame or hate my dad for it. Them's the breaks, but I love my mom, and I know she's watching because I saw her in the list, but that's one reason why I don't think that just up and abandoning it is the way to go. You definitely need to at least try first. Now, if you get through all of this if you get through and you're done, you fought the fight, but you're still going to lose, well, then that's still a respectable thing to do. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that should be one of the last straws, not the first straw.
Yeah. And, I sit here on the opposite side of being divorced and can say that you will be okay. You will get through the transition if this is where you are meant to be. But it would be bad advice for any of us to give you to say, just make it happen, man. Just go. You have responsibilities, and you owe your family the chance to really make an educated decision about the state of this relationship.
Absolutely.
So if you can do the work that's involved with therapy, which you're already talking about, knowing that it's going to be super hard and super rough and raw and emotional but all of that, either the relationship salvaging the relationship will be worth the work, or having working towards a life where you think you can be very happy in the future is worth the work. What's not worth it is staying where you're at for the children, because that is going to affect them negatively. If you don't fix what's wrong, they are, earlier on, I missed it as it scrolled by, but Bim said something about how her girlfriend had said that she wished that her parents had divorced a loveless marriage instead of staying together for the kids.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the only reason you stay together. That's why I'm saying fix what's broken between you two.
Yeah.
Because that'll only reinforce the thing with the kids, because, that's the fruit of your relationship or your kids.
Yeah. You have seen the corner of your room with the pile of paper. You see it now. You can't ignore it. It's yelling at you. So now you have to do something about it. You've spent long enough saying it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. So now you've done the work to say, I have a problem, which is a huge step, tremendously huge step. Now you have to do the work to acknowledge the problem, to address the problem, and fix the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your journey has only begun, and it will be hard work.
It's going to be very hard work. But know that that many of us have been through this, and you will make it through, and you will be okay. Mm-hmm. It's not easy though, I'm not going to mince words. It is not easy, and professional intervention is a must.
Yeah, and the only way that you could fail at being a loving father is not loving your kids, because my dad does love me. He's always loved me and my sister. He was there in my life. So worst comes to worst, you get divorced. Be there for your kids. Whatever BS is going on between you and your significant other or your ex-wife, if she is at that point, you've got to bury the hatchet for the kids. Yep. You still, even though you're divorced, you're still a team in that sense. There's no getting away from that.
Yep.
Just be there for your kids, love your kids, and you will be a loving father.
Yeah. Do the best you can.
Yeah.
For your children. And, and that comes in so many forms. Be there, give them your time, give them your energy, give them your support, make sure that you tell them that you love them every day, and make sure that they know that they can always come to you no matter what they've done, whatever bad thing that may have happened, they always can come to talk to you. You do that, and you have done what most people would dream of doing. It's like, I mean, I've simplified it tremendously, but but that's the formula. So, yeah. And Bim just said one day a lit match is going to land on that pile of crumpled paper if everyone ignores it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true. And that's what happens. It literally goes up in flames and you just, and you're at that point right now. It's at that point where you're just like, I can't take this anymore. I now live in a space of honesty. I don't tolerate lack of communication. I just dealt with it this week with two very dear friends who don't communicate with each other, and misunderstandings and the pile of paper has gotten so high that they cannot communicate with each other right now. And it is devastating to watch it. It's devastating to try to help them fix it. And it doesn't have to get that way. Just saying, it's no big deal. I'll let it go. I'll just ignore that. I'll pretend everything's okay. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't make it go away. It just sits there. And yeah, I'm not about fighting every single frickin' battle. Like, no. Like, if someone says something that annoys me and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But when it comes to the core of a relationship and a friendship, like, that's a big deal. If you're doing stuff to me that I don't like, I'm going to make sure that I let you know that I don't like it. And so that's how I live now.
Yeah.
It's so freeing, you guys. Like, I can't even tell you how freeing it is. For those who can't handle that kind of truth, they're not in my life anymore. That's how it is. So I feel for you. I feel for you so much. I have been in many similar parts of your situation, and I know it's hard. Yeah. I'm curious, too, if there is feedback out there from the audience. And if you guys would like to share that with us, you can do that at questions@taurenThinkTank.com and let us know your feedback for Solified. Thank you so much for writing to the show.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with such a personal issue, and for trusting us to put it out there on the internet for you. So thank you so much for writing in.
Absolutely.
And we certainly appreciate you taking the time, and we certainly hope that that we talked about tonight will help. And I wish you the best, man. Either way it goes.
Yeah, you've acknowledged a very big deal, and that is commendable. So now it's time to do something about it. All right, well, let's lighten the mood a little bit here with some Tell Us One Thing that Marconin came up with this week.
I did a thing.
Let's do it.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It's Tell Us One Thing time, where we ask you guys 2 questions, and you tell us your answers about stuff in life, and then we answer them too. It's pretty cool. Want to read your first one? First question?
Yes. The first question was, you suddenly have an extra room in your house and unlimited funds. What do you do with that room? And this question was inspired by me at work. I get to see a lot of people's homes now. So I get to see what a lot of people do with rooms in their homes. And so that's kind of, you see a wide variety. And so that's what kind of inspired this question.
So what would you do with yours?
Oh, man. It would be... it'd be like part man cave, part gaming hut. It would. I would have a full size DDR arcade machine in there, for sure. Then I would have a nice gaming computer, but I'd also have a really nice set of like surround speakers, so I could listen to music. And maybe a nice TV on the wall. Just something like just a little nerd hut that I can go in there and room to entertain, room to do that. I don't know how big this room is, but it's going to have to be a decent sized room with a DDR machine in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's it'd be a nice it's probably like a big study or something like that. That's kind of what I would do.
Awesome. That sounds
What
like
about you?
That sounds awesome. Well, for me right now, like, so when I move in a couple weeks, my second bedroom is going to be my studio and my gaming area. And now I need a separate room for all of my crafting stuff and all
Oh
the stuff to
yeah.
store all the crafting stuff, which is just like, it gets insane, especially when you're doing chainmail like I'm doing, because you need to stock all of these different sized and colored rings.
Yes, you do.
So I need a room where I can have huge built-in like storage cabinets and drawers, like little cubby drawers full of rings and gear
Oh, yeah.
and all the things that I need to be able to make this. And in there would be an entire like recording studio area for streaming it.
Yeah.
So a full on, the green screen and all that, and, being able to like have it all on the drafting table or the craft table and have it there. So
That'd be awesome.
yeah. So
Little
because
craft
for
room.
now I'm going to have to merge them all together into one. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes,
am
we will.
planning on reconfiguring my podcasting rig and everything when I move, so that hopefully I can get down to two, like, instead of using 3 separate computers, that I'll only be using 2. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. So
Awesome.
we asked you guys what you thought you would do with this special room, and boy, you guys had some nice ideas.
Yes, we did. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Yeah, you guys really did. And Miss Noid kicks it off by saying a yoga/meditation room. Make sure there's lots of windows or a sliding door to let sunshine and fresh air in. Add shelves to put candles and incense on, and turn one wall into a mirror. Then fill it with a mat, some blankets, blocks, and other yoga equipment. That'd be a really nice room. I'd like that.
That sounds so tranquil and so relaxing. I love that.
Nice, calm music going.
Yeah, that actually
That'd
would
be
be
nice.
a cool space. The Buttress says a VR pod like from Ogden's Palace in Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I can't wait to see the movie. Ugh.
I hope it's awesome.
I'm cautiously optimistic because I know they're changing some things.
Yeah.
They have to, but cautiously optimistic.
Caution. Yep, I'm with you.
Crushinator says, I would build a half-court basketball gym. This may be stretching the size of said imaginary room. Side note, it's not, because it can be as big as you want. It's a dream room.
It's a dream room.
But then he goes on to say, but I've always wanted an indoor place I can use for basketball, and finding one is rather inconvenient. I would say so.
Yeah. Well, think about how cool it would be to have a basketball gym in your house. Like, that is so
Mhm.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. Magic Myth Mayhem says, I turned it into a library and a studio, put in a good computer with a camera and a mic, comfy computer chair, as well as a couch to read on, some lamps, and maybe a green screen. Bring in all my books and arrange them all nice. It'd be my favorite room besides my bed.
It's got everything you would ever need besides your bed, of course.
Yes.
Memonth says, a workout room with a pool. I want to have a place to swim a lot.
Yeah. Like,
Good idea.
put a pool in your house. Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Kayafin says, a gaming room with its own fuse box, network lines, and lighting system. Soundproofing, surround sound for individual play, and state-of-the-art streaming capabilities. There would be several stations for gaming nights, so I could have friends over for dinner and games.
So Kayafin, when are you going to invite us over? That sounds awesome.
That's her nerd cave.
I know.
It's perfect.
That sounds real good. I love it. Broken Bones says, a home theater room with tiered rows of leather recliners. There would also be a Death Star painted on one of the walls.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Neat. Oh,
I like that.
Torek says, my living room is a LAN party room and my dining room is a VR room, so there's already too many gaming rooms at my place. This means that the extra room will need to be a barcade instead of just an arcade.
Oh, yeah. I hear you there. That'll be good. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Draven Dresden says, my own personal IMAX screen with digital projector, every gaming console, top-of-the-line computer tower, and 100 of those newer movie theater-style seats.
Dang.
You're just gonna move into the movie theater, I think.
Yeah,
You just need to buy a movie theater, or see if they'll you can just buy one theater room, and just do that. That would be cool. Don't go into theater number 12. That's Draven's house.
That's Draven's house. You can't go there. No.
Nope.
Queen of the North said, adult daycare space, comfy couch or two, bar, pinball arcade cabinets, big TV with consoles, and nerdy kitschy decor. I love how she calls it an adult daycare space.
Oh, yeah, I do too. Jules, can you drop me off at the adult daycare today? I know you have to work. Can you drop me off on the way? I need supervision and a couch.
No.
And a pinball.
No. It's awesome.
Yep. Summer Shade says bookshelves on one side with 2 recliners, 3 TVs, but one is large for the movies, and 2 smaller ones for games with all the consoles and gaming PCs, a gaming PC or 2, and a fireplace.
Yeah.
That's nice and cozy.
I like that too. Fame Mercurial says Dungeons and Dragons / computer room for fun and games. Yeah. I mean, wait,
Ooh, yeah.
all of us are just like entertainment rooms.
We're all, yeah. Well, Shoral is kind of along your line of thinking. She wants a craft space with a full wall of bookcases.
Absolutely. It's kindred spirits. Zandara said either a dressing room, aka a giant closet, because I hope the unlimited funds also translates to a new wardrobe, or a cat room dedicated to fostering cats.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I like that.
That reminds me of my dream room. I wanted to have like those really tall shelves along the perimeter of the room that my cats can like walk up and walk around like a little cat. What is it called? Like a little hamster. Those little hamster.
Yeah, it's like a cat
maze
track
with the tubes. Yeah, a little cat track. Yeah, I definitely do that in my dream room too.
I would not do that in my craft room because the cats already get into too much stuff.
Yeah. Small, little, tiny, shiny objects and cats don't mix, so they'd bat that around all over the place.
Nope.
Let's see. Rastalian says wall-to-wall sound for total sonic immersion for games, movies, and VR. Think a real-life holodeck type stuff.
That's so cool.
Total sound immersion.
I love Ruse. Ruse is the best. She says, turn it into a walk-in forest terrarium, complete with some reptiles and birds, but not ones likely to dine on each other, and meditate there.
I like that. I would visit that room, Rue.
Right?
I would like that.
And the last one from Pat Gamer, our lovely friend Pat Gamer, says, fill the entire room with pony plushes.
It's so fluffy.
It's so fluffy and pony-filled. Apparently, the chat room has decided that they want to turn their imaginary room into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Uh-huh.
And I cannot... They're listing all the stuff from Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So
yeah, I want some fizzy lifting drink. That'd be fun.
I know, it'd be so cool. So that satisfies our first question. Our second question also came from Marconin and is, what's your favorite Wikipedia article?
Yeah, and I got this one because I was looking at a list of fun questions, and this question popped out, and it immediately sparked to mind what my favorite Wikipedia article is that I ran across once, because I, like before I said, and this is also my answer, but I like time and time travel. I like to look forward to see what might happen in the future, not just, here on Earth, but like, when is the next big planet alignment? What's going to happen when, the Milky Way and Andromeda meet? When is that going to happen? So I think about they call it long time, stretches of time way beyond comprehension of the entire human life, the life of our civilization, everything. So in looking for this, I found this really cool article about a piece of music called As Slow as Possible. It's written by John Cage, and it's meant to be played as slow as possible. That's what's written on the tempo marker. It says the typical performance on the piano version lasts between 20 and 70 minutes. And
Wow.
Other people have done it. Now, the cool thing I think about this is there's a performance of the organ version, and you can find it at the St. Buchardi Church in Halberstadt, Germany. It began in 2001, and the song will last 639 years. The organ is playing a constant note 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. People flock to this church to hear the pitch change between notes. Yeah, it started September 5th, 2001, and it's listing every time the sound will change. I think the next one isn't until September 5th, 2020. The last note change was back in 2013. The song will finish on September 5th, 2640.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
and there's like I
insane.
think there's a live stream of it somewhere. But yeah, it's a really cool thing because, it's time and music, two of my favorite things.
Wow.
And it's such a cool idea. I mean, it's walled in with glass inside the church so that, nobody can mess with it or try to do stuff with it. But it's such a really cool idea to take this premise of playing a song as long as possible or as slow as possible and then just going at it for 600 years. It's so cool.
Wow. That blows my mind, dude. Like,
yeah.
like
every time I bring that up, yeah. Every time I tell somebody about that, like, are you kidding me? Like, no, it's real. It's so cool that they do that. But yeah, that's my answer. So what is your favorite Wikipedia article?
I could not come up with one of anything because I read all the time, especially I read Reddit and all these things. And a lot of times Reddit comes up with today I learned, and it's coming from a Wikipedia article of some sort. And so I have read so many of those that I couldn't come up with anything. I love to learn something, about history or a person or, something like that or an animal or species or something. I just love to learn. And so I can't answer this question. I could not come up with an answer, which sucks.
Well, now you can make it Today I Learned.
Yes.
On Reddit.
Yes, I did. I mean, today I learned about the song that is being played as slow as possible for 600 years. That's I did not know that. So
yeah.
But I love learning something new. I think that's like so much fun. So
oh yeah.
Yeah. So we asked this of the audience. Kalani said his favorite article is about Putt's Law and the Successful Technocrat, which is a book. And what Putt's Law is that technology is dominated by two types of people: those who understand what they do not manage, and those who manage what they do not understand.
Yeah.
And then there's Putt's corollary, which says every technical hierarchy in time develops a competence inversion, with incompetence being flushed out of the lower levels of a technocratic hierarchy, ensuring that technically competent people remain directly in charge of the actual technology, while those without technical competence move into management.
I see this all the time.
It's so true, though.
All the time. It's very true.
Yeah.
There's only 10 kinds of people in this world: those who understand binary and those who don't. I love that one. I love it.
Awesome.
That one took me a second the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
But Broken Bones says that not so much Wikipedia, but have you ever tried Wikimapia? Users can actually digitize and attribute GIS data from satellite imagery. You will find things from Bob's Bar to Area 51. And I love maps.
Tried this. No,
so I will try that. I will try that. Thank you, Broken Bones.
That is super cool. Torek said, what could be better than an article with a title that sounds something like Patrick Beja would say, and a page full of funny things that you shouldn't make wiki articles for, with random cat pictures throughout? And the Wikipedia article is called The List. Come up. The list of really, really, really stupid article ideas that you really, really, really should not create.
Really, really.
Really, really, really. Yes, really. That was awesome.
Yes, really. That's a good one. Queen of the North says anything to do with space, the planets in our solar system especially, and I concur. I love space.
And RJ Sketch says, it's hard to decide. I think I like learning about stars the most. Some stars make the sun look tiny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's So true.
It's nuts.
And Navox in our chat room gave us a link to the list of animals with fraudulent diplomas. What?
Okay. Okay, yeah. I say like the first one is a cat named Colby Noland, is a house cat who was awarded an MBA in 2004 by Trinity Southern University, a Dallas-based diploma mill, sparking a fraud lawsuit by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office.
Like,
So
what?
I guess they did it. Okay, so what they did is this: the cat, whose name was Colby Nolan, and the place is a diploma mill to give you a diploma to say, oh, I went to college, here's my diploma.
Yeah.
So you just pay money and you get it, and so this was a way to show how much of a fraud it was that they
Yeah.
got their cat. So that's cool. I think I remember hearing about that. That is funny.
This one was hard for me, but you guys enjoyed it. So, so that is Tell Us One Thing. And we will have Tell Us One Thing back again next week with more questions to ask you guys. We send them out on Twitter. We also send them out on Discord. So you can join our Discord server, which is tinyurl.com/tttchat2, and check our Twitter as well. You can respond in either form. It's a great way to get your name read on the show too, if we can fit it in. So yeah, that is awesome. And sometimes you guys send us so many, I just can't use them all. So
yeah, but they're all great.
They're
all great.
This has probably been the best switch of format that we've done in a long time when it comes to you guys answering the questions. The engagement has just continued to grow, and it's been so much fun to see. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it. And we will continue to come up with really fun questions for you.
Yeah, we love learning about you guys too.
Yeah. I mean, I have today I learned at a lot of shows where I'm like, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to switch over to giving away the very coveted title known as the Slash Moo. We have moos in our start us off.
Yes, we do. First one comes from @VikingDadStream. A big slash moo to Cat on Fire for a Gul'dan normal carry. @ShieldSpec even got me a neck upgrade. Awesome.
Yay.
Congrats.
And a reciprocal slash moo from @ShieldSpec /moo to James @VikingDadStream for meeting up with me offline and for raiding with Cat on Fire and me this week.
That's awesome. I saw those pictures.
It was great.
That's fun. @Restalian says, related, a slash moo to all the first responders that continue to be a light in dark times.
He was talking about the Manchester bombing. He actually sent us a tweet earlier today that said he had just listened to episode 231 talking about fear and how timely that episode was with the situation that happened in Manchester. And I appreciated that because I'm glad that we had done that show talking about how fear can cripple you and trauma and PTSD situations could be, devastating to your life. But Manchester, you see the pictures and you see all of the people who are standing together as one to say, we are not afraid. And that is so inspiring.
It is. It really is. And these things happen every once in a while, and I'm not going to get used to them.
Never.
I'm not I refuse to let them be part and parcel of modern society.
No.
I refuse people that say that because that is not what modern society should do.
No.
And man, I could get on a friggin' soapbox for an hour. But I'm not going to, because this is time for slash moo.
It is.
But thank you, Restalian, for the slash moo on that. And absolutely, the first responders, the people that run towards danger, always get my utmost respect, no matter what.
Absolutely. And finally, a sneaky slash moo to the CTR Party team for starting their Kickstarter because Future Panda sent by Anonymous.
Thanks, Anonymous.
Yeah, anonymous person that
you
I
and
know
you
who
and your,
it is.
You and your fancy Guy Fawkes masks.
And that concludes our slash moos for the week.
Yes,
and you can send them in to questions@taurenThinkTank.com. You can send them through our Discord, through our Twitter, however you wish to do so. And we will read them on the show. Let us know who makes your life better, because that is always a great thing.
Absolutely.
And that, Marconin, is a show.
You know, Jules, I do believe that is a show. I concur.
I'm glad you concur, and I accept your concurrence.
Quite right. I appreciate that.
Right, indeed. Oh, my goodness. I feel like we have accomplished a lot because I'm freaking tired. But the fumes, they are running me. And but that was an excellent show. Thank you so much. And thank you again for changing the day for recording so that we could accommodate my crazy, chaotic schedule this week.
Well, you know, I've got to have some free time to make my wallet cry a little bit more tomorrow when the Kickstarter goes live.
Am I going to get like a picture on Twitter with tears rolling out of your wallet's like folds?
Yeah. I'll get a little video of it, like, you know, mouthing it like a little Muppet. Like, Jules, you make me use all the money.
How dare you guys have fun ideas. I'm not very happy at you.
Don't you know he's a collector? He needs all the things.
I'm sorry.
You knew this.
I did know this. I might have had insider information onto the psyche.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, not sorry. So, So what is happening with you over the next week? Are you doing anything for the holiday weekend?
Well, my sister actually took a job in the Little Rock area, so she's moving down here, her and my nephew. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be helping her move stuff down on her days off. My mom's actually coming up for this weekend. We might take her down to a nice German restaurant for a belated Mother's Day present, because just getting, you know, she lives like 2.5 hours away, so just getting her down here to go do stuff with all the schedule changes is kind of hard. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. Going to work, I have to be at work at like 6:30 in the morning. But the cool thing is, I just have to ride in a car for a couple hours at the beginning, so I don't have to be ready to go. I can kind of just sit in the car and try and wake up. You know, like I gotta make sure I'm there. Just as long as I'm there, and I get in the car to go, then I'm good.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. Starting the day early means I might end the day early, so that'll be cool, and I'll be ready to go to watch that stream tomorrow night. Pirates of the Caribbean this weekend, so I might go see that. I've heard it's doing better than the last one did, which is good.
Good.
So we shall see. Because I saw Jeffrey Rush is back as Barbossa, so I loved him in those. So I'm very jazzed to see that one.
Cool.
So yeah, that's about it for my week. I know you've got a busy week coming up, especially tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be insane. And then I can take a little bit of a breather. This has been a week from hell, but I'm so happy that it concludes with the release of this project that we've been working on for so long. And then I will breathe a little bit and enjoy some time off, and then back at it on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, let's say you need to spend a weekend in Rue's meditation forest room.
Yeah, I could use a very nice massage and like a spa getaway. That'd be fantastic. But I'm super, super stoked for tomorrow and everything that's about to come, and let the games begin. Let's do this.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait.
Yes. So yeah, that's it for us for this week. So we're going to bring the show to a close, as we always do, just like this.
Yeah.
Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You know, you can also find us outside of the show on our website. That's taurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us, too. And if you want to add some sweet Triple T swag, like the shirt I am wearing, then you can go to taurenThinkTank.com/store. You can find some t-shirts, some mugs, sweatshirts, phone cases, and so much more. taurenThinkTank.com/store.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank. If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, show off your pets, your creative stuff, ask a discussion topic, or get some support, you can join our Discord server. And the quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/tttchat2.
And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. You can find us at 140 characters or less on Twitter at Tauren Think Tank for the show, at Jules RPG for Jules, and at Marconin WoW for me.
And thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night, normally at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find us through the video stream at twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank and the mobile audio through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us, however you can consume the content. Marconin,
Yes, we do. Jules,
have a wonderful rest of your week.
you do too, and have fun when this is all over after Thursday.
I will, and I'm gonna sleep.
Yes. Glorious
Thank you guys
rest.
so much for being with us on a special night. We are so grateful for all of you, and we can't wait to see you next week on Thursday. So for myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room, until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 I apparently need to change the batteries in my Max mouse because it was kind of like not going where I wanted it to go. I'm like, come on, get to the soundboard, please.
You
Please,
can do it. You
please.
can do it. Keep going.
Please.
Yay.
I did it. I did it after like come on.
Please.
The nice thing about my soundboard is that it's key activated too if it's brought to the front. So I could I could hit 8 and get that. So I could do that.
Yeah.
And you know what, Nav? My camera is the Logitech C310. It's the low end one.
And mine's the 810 or 910. It's the highest one that I could get at work.
You're captured through Skype.
Yeah, I'm captured through Skype, so it has to go through my internet to get to her.
Yep.
So it's another layer on top of it. So
I know, it sucks.
That's why I look like poop.
Yeah, I know. It's the shitty camera is what it is. I don't even have the C3, the C9, whatever it is.
Yeah, I got the fancy one just thinking it'd be better, but I mean, it will record in HD, but I mean, it is now, but it just goes to poo in the pipeline.
Yeah, it's because of Skype being stupid. So, yep.
Skype is dumb.
Skype is dumb. We appreciate what it can do for us, but it needs to work better because it doesn't always work very well.
Yeah.
So there.
Yep.
Maybe
next time.
He wasn't crapping on your camera. He was just looking at mine. I know. I don't understand, honestly, how it comes so clear through this stream. I don't know. I mean, I'm honestly kind of amazed because that is not the best camera at all. So, I don't know. I don't understand. But I'm happy with the quality of it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we are going to get out of here so that you can go get some sleep and I can bounce the show out and get some sleep because I'm tired.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea because it's been a long day. I got off work at like 5:40. And
then we ran.
We had to eat. Yeah.
We had a thing after around 6:30 our time for one of our patrons that we do every month, and so we had to do that before the show, and so that it was like, you know, we had a blast. We played Heroes with them this time, but it was just like busy.
Yeah, it was just nonstop for me since 6:30 this morning till 9:30 now. So it's been nonstop. So yeah, but good day. It was a good day.
It was a good day. And we
It
always...
was a beautiful day down here.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. We had a couple of like short rain showers, but it was cloudy. It was like partly cloudy, partly sunny. Nice cool breeze that was coming through. I think it was like 70 today.
Oh,
It was
wow.
nice cool breeze going all day. It was just glorious.
That's awesome.
Every chance I got to go outside, I was like, I'll go get the thing from the truck. And it feels so good.
Oh,
Okay, I gotta
yes.
go back
A
inside.
show title. Thank you, Antiboost.
Yes.
We forgot show titles because we're tired.
Pile of paper? Pile of paper I saw a couple of times.
Pile
on
of
that.
paper was mentioned a few times. 600-year-long week. Oh, yeah. 600-year-long song.
Yeah. Good. As slow as possible.
As slow as possible. Yeah,
That
where
could
did
be
Draven go, Draven Dresden? Calling you out, yo.
Yeah.
Draven usually has like the pile of them at the end. Thank you for reminding me. There it is. Angry pile of papers. Oh, it's raid night. Okay,
Yelling.
I understand. You're forgiven.
That's right. Yeah, different day of the week.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you like?
Angry pile of papers sounds good.
Okay.
Or angry pile of paper. Either one.
Angry
That's
pile of
the one
paper. Yeah, I think that's good. We'll do that.
Yeah.
I fix. Angry.
I fix.
I fix. Oh, it helps if I have my fingers on the right keys. There we go. Okay. Thank you, guys. We will see you on Thursday, back to our normal schedule next week. Have a wonderful holiday weekend if you celebrate that. And if you observe that, if you get the days off. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. /me guys. Have a great week.